Hey guys, welcome to the Lion's Den. Lion Academy is going to be launched shortly, but I just want to jump on here and talk to everyone here first and give you a full update all the way through. So we've set the studio up and we're making it available for everyone in the world to have access to everything that we can do. Where we started from Success for Soldiers, good news about PTSD, PTSD Solutions Community, into Protecting Women, into Dion, Jensen Global, went into corporate speaking, all the rest of it. Now we're in the influencer space and bringing that all back to New Zealand and launching in Mana with building the Lion Academy down at Hamatangi Beach. So we will be New Zealand's first personal empowerment organisation done the Pacific way. We just do things different in the South Pacific, so it's zero hype. We don't like hype, big salesy stuff. But that's where we all had to go and learn how this works on a global scale. The second one is military efficiency. We come from Ngāti Tūmatauenga, so our systems approach to training has to be very, very clear, very easy to follow. So zero hype, military efficiency, but we're going to have a lot of fun. The end state for all of this is for people to be bold in situations where they're just not bold at the moment. Scared, lost, broken, have no idea what to do, or they're at a stage where they come through all of that and they just want something to do. So we wrote the world's first good news book about PTSD, then we wrote the VIP of mental health, and we're featured in a whole lot of other books. What's behind me is the book journey because of who actually sits behind me. So we've got Des, we've got Dip, and we've got Toonie behind me, watching my back as we move forward. What's in front of me is my family and you guys. So we know what we're doing because we've come from there. We are where we are right now, and this is where we're going. So another update I want to give everyone here is let's go to the Success for Soldiers side here in Anzac Max. And we started with, hey, we're from this tribe, we're from Ngāti Tū, and we've dealt with this stuff. Here's how we got through it, here's our solution, here's a book, here's videos, and here's programs that we have. And our journey has just been sharing where it sucked in the hole, which was awareness, but it plugged into the next stage of there's hope, there's a light at the end of the tunnel because it's not a disorder, it's how you're trained. And then we put systems in place so that there's a process so you can get out and through. And we just started sharing that full solutions map. And now what I'm seeing is all these other people are now coming into their own. They're now sharing their stories. And what was really important was talking to a lot of those people and sharing the solution journey. Because you can only share where you are, where you've been, right? And you can share where you're going, but sometimes that gap is just too far for people that are in a place where everything's tough. So the narrative that was attached is share where you are in this journey. Whether you're right there in the hole right now and it's horrible and you need some help, and reach out for help, that's all crisis response, right? And then once you're out of the hole, you have to come back into the shitstorm, and the shitstorm is what put you in the hole in the first place. But within that shitstorm, we're creating these ERVs here on Facebook, out here physically, in all of our groups and all of our businesses. And then in that ERV is where you can find your solution if you choose to. A lot of people don't. They want to stay there and be the victim because they get all the value from being the victim, right? And then for people that want to move forward, there was nowhere to move forward to, apart from a tactical transition. And I'll talk about transition shortly. A tactical transition is where you change what you do. If you want to go from military to civilian, you change your CV, you find transferable skill sets, you go through RPL processes, recognition of prior learning, where you get a civilian qualification for what you did in the military. And so that's tactical, that helps with what you do. But you're going to come up against all these battles unless you ask a different question and you go into strategic transition. Strategic transition is changing who you want to be, who you want to be perceived as, who do you want to be as far as your communication goes. Because I can change my CV, and I have done multiple times, but I had to change who I was if I wanted to be effective in that environment. Now you can stay a certain person, conduct a tactical transition and change your CV and get another job. But I guarantee you, the job that you're going to is very seldom the job you want. You are following a path where you have the qualifications. And then you're going to hit this point in the civilian world if you haven't already, and for all you guys doing transition stuff from uniform to the civilian world, you'll get tested on your RPL. And here's an example. I've worked in oil and gas. I used to run Southeast Queensland. So I could have RPL'd an advanced diploma in WHS, Workplace Health and Safety. But I had no idea what the hierarchy of risk control was. Because I just got a piece of paper that said I've met the criteria when I was doing things in the police conducting risk assessments. right? But that risk assessment model and communication model from the police is different from oil and gas. So when it comes to job interview time and someone said, okay, then so you've got this advanced diploma, explain to me how this all works and how you're going to apply it in this environment. Couldn't answer it. I could answer it tactically because I was an ex-military guy, but I had to change who I was, so I had to learn the language, hang out with the guys that were in that environment, learn how they spoke, learn what they were looking for. So that process was not unfamiliar to me because it's the same process that we run within the military. So tactical transition is changing your CV, looking for a job, right? And that's part of the journey. I'm not saying don't do it, I'm saying just understand where it fits in the journey. And then once you get into that job, if you love it, stay there, enjoy yourself, rock on. But if it's not who you are, it's what you're doing to pay the bills, then in that ERV and that shitstorm has to be a training academy, has to be something where you can learn. Now for most of us, that was Google and YouTube. Yeah, just Googled and YouTube and learned how to do all this stuff. And then I would go and invest in myself. I've met Tony Robbins, I've done his programs. I've been in virtual rooms with Brendan Burchard, done his programs. Kerwin Ray, met him, looked at his stuff, all these guys I had to go and learn from. And all the ladies as well. I had to learn from Yana and Delphine and Andrea Edwards and Simone de Haas and Brenda Bentz and a whole lot of these people that have no idea I've learned from them because I've gone out there and I've learned. I had to conduct a strategic transition. I had to decide who I wanted to be. Or if I didn't know who I wanted to be, it's who do I need to be to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And that was a turning point for me. We think tactically first, what do I have to do? That becomes a mission, SMEAC, and then it drills down to a task list. That'll get you moving. But as soon as you ask the question, who do I need to become to achieve that mission? Your whole world will change, it will open right up. And you can go as far as you want. And so from someone like me that failed school, banned for bagging, never promoted in the military, to this decade's first Gold Cast speaker inspiring millions of people around the world, I had to learn that stuff. But none of the stuff has been as hard as what I thought it was on BASIC, what I thought it was on core training. And sure as hell wasn't as hard as getting that phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning that brother Dip had been killed. So let's keep this all in context. So let's carry on. So we went from the military side and then we went into protecting women. Because what we know for those of us that have worked at strategic high levels in close protection, military teaches you how to fight, the police teaches you when to fight, and close protection teaches you to recognize and totally avoid the fight. And on all of those processes, you get really, really good at identifying, assessing and profiling and making snap decisions. So we have that skill set. So when I came back to New Zealand, there'd been a lot of domestic violence, a few rapes, one domestic murder, and I got involved in helping domestic violence and rape victims because of what we did with the good news about PTSD. Trauma is not specific to any one demographic, it is specific to human beings. All right, so we made that equal. And so while we were teaching and training women, we were teaching them how to think like close protection operatives, think and run personal risk assessments and run all of the process that we ran in close protection, so you never had to get into a physical altercation. And if you did, it was only ever in 3 situations. So we created protectingwomen.global and then we started teaching women how to use their mind instead of their bodies, but then teaching them some high level body stuff so they could wreck people if they had to. And then when we went from there into corporate, we had to learn a whole new language. And that's where I learned the scale that I'll take you through on the whiteboard in another lesson, where it starts off as curiosity, then it moves to credibility, then authority, then legacy. All right. So when we first came out, I was curious. Who's this guy talking about good news about PTSD? Then we started saving lives, we got some credibility. Okay, there's something in this. And along the way, you're gonna have haters, but don't worry about them. And then once you get to a certain level of results and influence, you become an authority. So we're an authority in this space now. We're in the authority of veteran support, PTSD, mental health, leadership strategy. And if my military tribes look at me like, what do you know about leadership? We hit number 1 on LinkedIn for crisis leadership during COVID. Okay, we know how to lead in crisis out there in corporate, out there in business. But you might not have seen that because you're over here on the military side. So we're gonna bring this all together in the Line Academy. So people will be curious about what you do first, you get some results, you get some credibility, and when you get some really good results, you start working national and regionally and globally, then you become an authority in your space, all right? And a lot of people will stop here if they get there, but the one that we're really chasing, and we're gonna hunt this down until we get it, is legacy. Is if I get hit by a car tomorrow, everything that you're seeing here, the online academy, all the stuff that we've learned has to be available to you for all time. And that's legacy. So we want to build the Lion Academy, the Successful Soldiers Academy, the Lion University, all online. They want to build it physically here in New Zealand and expand that globally. So no matter where you are in the world, you can get to that ERV if you're in the shitstorm. And then after all of this, you can have a happy, purpose-filled life. So I've gone from military, police, close protection, into the darkness, into the shitstorm, into the hole, wanted to check out, fat, broke, depressed, quite happily gone to sleep and not waking up. And most of you know that story, and we carry on. Got into corporate, same thing, tactical. Then I learned strategic language because I studied, I listened, I learned from people in that world. There are people on this video right now that are watching this. You've done this yourself, you never told anyone. You just disappeared off by yourself, you went and got qualifications, you went and learned all these things, and now when we catch up on Anzac Day, we're not the same people. We became someone else. We grew, we evolved. Not the same soldier we were on Bassett. Doesn't change who you are on the inside. Alright? Different thought processes because your core values don't change. It's learning and growing and evolving. If not, you stay where you are. So we went all the way through that. We got up to the point where we got into the Gold Cast speech, and people asked me to speak all around the world, which is fantastic. So I got known as the confidence coach. Increasing confidence in people, processes, or products, right? If you deal with fear, chaos, or crisis, I can come here and give you clarity and all this other stuff. And now, we're in rooms with global influencers. I'm talking to prime ministers. I'm now being invited to different countries. Ooh, here's a quick update. I'll release it shortly. They've been asking me to come and speak in Canada. And the people that I speak to are competing with World Vision, because they're saying that when you donate money to help people, not all of that money gets to people. So they're going to feed homeless in North America. So there's this big competition on feeding the homeless in North America. And I got a wildcard entry because I want to know how they do it over there so I can do it here in New Zealand. So that's going to happen soon. So the big update is, yes, I'm in the Lion's Den, which is a top secret location, which you might see on a TV program coming up soon. And we're about to launch the Lion Academy online, so everything that we do is available for you in one place. So now for a lot of you, I've had a lot of conversations later, you've always said to me, Dion, we love it when you give us an update because I don't share my strategy. And it's foolish to share your entire strategy. So I let you know a couple of years ago, even as early as last year, I'm going to go from where I am now and I've got to go way off the reservation. And I know I look salesy, I know I went all corporate and way off the 92 grid. But I had to. I had to go and become this guy globally to come back and do what I'm doing in New Zealand. No one at the high levels of influence in New Zealand paid attention to me, even though I'm saying the exact same stuff I'm saying now, because I had no credibility with them, because their credibility currency is higher. So saving lives and providing solutions for veteran suicide, youth suicide, domestic violence, youth crime, all these solutions that we've always had. We've always sent those messages out. But we didn't have the credibility because it wasn't communicated the right way. My fault, I hadn't evolved to that level yet, fully my fault. Nor did we have the credibility of results. So when you have global results and you can say, listen, I'm working in 22 different countries with the same stuff, helping people, saving lives, but no one in the world is doing this the Pacific way. No one knows how to operate as a Kiwi except for Kiwis. So that's what we're doing. So that's why I have to go all the way up, come all the way back. So you're going to see a lot of videos like this. You'll see the lion in the background. You'll see Dip Des and Toonie in the background. The lion t-shirt is going out everywhere. No, I'm not selling them yet, even though everyone's asking for them. I'm trying to give a few away. But you start looking for this lion, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. And if you look really closely, here's what people don't understand. Is, I'm a Jesus fan, love Jesus. On the inside, there's actually a lioness. So it's a male and a female. And it's not about me, it's about this part of you. So for all of you that are struggling at the moment, all of you that think you're alone, think you're crazy, think you can't make it, you can make it. Because I got a really awesome superpower. I'm not that smart. I just figured out a lot of this craziness and just worked out a way to make it simple. And I've got another superpower. I'm from New Zealand. In the mana. All our stuff's on the inside. And we're going to share that with the world. Why can Kiwis just chill out and go climb Mount Everest? Why can we be quiet, humble people and then throw down a haka and rip someone's head off? Why can we do all of these things when we're one of the smallest, youngest countries in the world? It's on the inside. We start generating inner mana from the inside out. We can stop youth suicide, bullying, veteran suicide. Because the greatest power you possess is how you make another human being feel. And my job My role, my mission, my whole vision for this world in my lifetime is to help people feel bold.